Is this the first time that we gonna have Casabon with us for every single SCP? Because we are already by the third last one. Which the third last one is written by the Shrike, and it hates it here, and hates is written with H8S. Anyways, I gotta go to sleep. Fuck! The moment I ask, like, is Casabon able to watch every single SCP that we have today? And he's like, I'm going to bed. And I'm like, no! We almost had it, lads! I'm pretty tired today, no worries. Go. The app was with you, wish you a good night, my man. Thanks for being here as always. Alright, we shall read It Hates It Here. I hate it here now as well. I hate it here. Here we go. After class Keller, special containment procedures. S-1, -2 are contained in hermetically sealed storage unit 67B at site. The storage unit is to be kept evacuated of gas at all times. This unit has been modified to eliminate all nickel, cadmium, and platinum components. Storage unit is kept evacuated. Yeah, okay. -3 is magnetically levitated. I need to drink some water. It's been a while. It's magnetically levitated at the center of a 1 meter diameter cobalt sphere. Cobalt's shell of the sphere is 3 mm thick, with an interior coating of 0.3 mm of iridium. The sphere is filled with pure neon gas pressurized to 1 MPa. The temperature of this sphere is to be lowered as the neon is depleted, but kept just above the boiling point of the gas. The sphere is mounted in a collapsible 4x4x3 2.5 meter cobalt enclosure, which is itself contained in hermetically sealed storage unit 67A at the site. This unit has been modified to eliminate all nickel, cadmium, and platinum components and to replace the non-conductive ceramic insulation with 0.01 mm of iridium plating. A pure neon atmosphere is to be maintained within the storage unit at all times. Once monthly, -3 must be moved into a newly prepared sphere by 3 D-class personnel trained in procedure 8997 Clever. This is the longest one so far, yeah, absolutely. This is an average one. This is a usual length that we get. After successful completion of procedure 8997 Clever, all materials exposed to -3 is to be brought to no less than 2500 Kelvin in temperature inside Incinerator 2. Incinerator 1 does not provide the frequent shielding against neutron radiation. This includes the original sphere in its liquid and gaseous contents, the original cobalt enclosure, the atmosphere of the storage unit, the D-class personnel, their briefing apparatus and protective suits, and all tools used in procedure 8997 Clever. The material can then be disposed of or reclaimed as non-anomalous. Direct visual contact with -3 is prohibited except by D-class personnel to the extent required by procedure 8997 Clever. The materials listed in document 2 are not to come into contact with SCP-2877 outside of approved testing. -1 is a transparent rectangular block of dimensions 19.23 times 12.57 times 1.257 meters. Oh, okay. That's a weird way to... Okay, so it's first centimeters and then meter. Gotcha. Weighing approximately 29 kilograms. Okay. While slicing, deforming, and re-adhering to the material is possible, any piece of -1 will over time form a rectangular block of which two dimensions are approximately 1.257 metric units multiplied by a power of 10, otherwise keeping a constant density. Its refractive index is 7 at all wavelengths of light, lacking the expected variation that would normally split light into its components. All black body radiation is produced at 12,570 nano. Oh, I forgot what the NM means for when it comes to radiation. At room temperature, rather than emitting radiation across the Planck spectrum, The mechanism for either of these anomalies is unknown. -1's atomic mass is 10.67 in all attempts to separate it into isotopes of differing mass have failed. This indicates the substance is composed of particles other than protons, neutrons, and electrons. When -1 comes into direct contact with most material containing an element with atomic number ending in 8, the element is converted into a similar but slightly lower mass of -1. There is no detectable energy released due to the change in mass. This reaction is prevented if the element is in compound or alloy containing at least 7% by mass of an element with atomic number ending in 7. The link between these elements and -1 is unclear. When -1 comes within approximately 12.5 centimeters of the element radium, equivalent masses of both are eliminated, replaced by a similar mass of alpha particles, and additionally a small amount of... Okay, so I like how it's saying here, like, if it's being sliced, it will become always... it's always like... all these numbers are basically like constant, right? They're constantly staying in different aspects of this SCP. Like when you slice it, and its refractive index is always 7, which 7 is also a number that keeps popping up. What was the part I saw that was like... But yeah, we have like 12.5 centimeters of, which is also here. And then this one is also here. Yeah, it's like the numbers are constant in different aspects of this SCP, which I think is a cool little idea. Equivalent mass of both are eliminated, replaced by a similar mass of alpha particles in addition. Yeah, I read that. And then there's element 88. This reaction is prevented by the presence of iridium. Within approximately 1,250 meters, the iridium used in containment of -3 is sufficient to prevent the reaction throughout the site. Element 77. -2 and -3 were... I feel like if you know more about like chemistry and all that stuff, this would like slap. Which I don't. So it's like I said, I'm a dumbass. Were produced during an experiment attempting to discover the melting point of -1. The incident log 2. -2 does not display any of the same elemental interaction as -1, while the nature of -3 makes testing impractical. -2 is approximately 320 kilograms of irregularly shaped solid chunks, matching the shape and density of the various equipment, structures, and human tissue from which it was created during... Okay, I'm gonna close the window now, it's a little bit cold. Before I was heating up, now it's a little bit cold. It is perfect. It is a perfect mirror reflecting 100% of all the electromagnetic radiation. This makes its edges difficult to discern, which can be disorienting. It does not emit black body radiation. It's perfectly thermally insulating. It is also an electrical superconductor at all tested magnetic field strengths, up to 50 T. It is unknown whether there is a temperature at which its properties change, as the properties prevent its temperature from being measured or modified. -3 is an iridescent magnetic solid described by exposed D-class as a rainbow called metal domino. It causes anomalous chemical and or nuclear reactions in all unshielded materials, making accurate measurements difficult to acquire. A thin solid or liquid layer of any pure element with atomic number ending in 7 provides shielding from the effect, though sufficient quantities of other solid or liquid matter will dissipate the effect. Only elemental iridium has been found to be resistant enough to provide prolonged shielding, with reaction rates slowed by 5 orders of magnitude compared to other materials. The slowest reaction discovered is between iridium and gaseous neon, particularly at lower temperatures. This reacts to create a dense liquid, bringing this liquid to 373 Kelvin, causing it to split into a variety of lighter elements and energetic neutrons, while the liquid appears to be composed of molecules with distinct atoms. The theoretical impossibility of this chemical compound and the nuclear fission caused by heating indicate an unidentified nuclear interaction. Limited testing indicates that the presence of anomalous compounds accelerates further -3 induced reactions. Projections show that in the event of a containment breach, recontainment will become impractical after approximately months. Direct human exposure to -3 causes the expected physiological damage. It also causes a variety of psychological symptoms, with visual contact accelerating the onset. These symptoms include but are not limited to mania, depression, persistent euphoria, depersonalization disorder, hallucinations, personification of -3, affinity towards -3, and severe antipathy towards -3. These are believed to be side effects of the brain trauma caused by -3's physiological effects. Discovery log: SCP-2877 was discovered in test chamber of dimensional research site during an experiment attempting to get expunged. The mechanism of appearance appears to have been the spontaneous conversion of the chamber gaseous oxygen and argon contents into a 25 kilogram rectangular block of -1. Junior researcher Q was successfully evacuated prior to asphyxiation. These results have been successfully reproduced. Incident log 2. A 50-gram -1 test sample was gradually heated to determine melting point. Upon reaching 823 Kelvin, the test chamber expanded to approximately 8 times its original volume and began to radiate erratically across the electromagnetic spectrum. During this time, all material absorbing the infrared wavelengths of this radiation was converted into -2. This includes all test equipment, portion of the test chamber and observation chamber walls, floor and ceiling, the observation window, and approximately 80% of what was at the time junior researcher L. After approximately 11 seconds, the radiation ceased and the test sample contracted to 1/7 of its original volume. The test sample later classified -3 rendered the adjacent test chamber, Dr. B, and 5D class personnel anomalous before being contained. Dr. B has been quarantined to prevent the spread of anomalous materials and permanently assigned as lead researcher of SCP-2877. The test chambers were demolished and all anomalous waste was neutralized in Incinerator 2 after thorough study. Incident log 28. During a routine enactment of procedure 8997 Clever, D2877-52B violated protocol by maintaining prolonged visual contact with -3, leading to failure of the procedure. Begin transcript at P+037 immediately following piercing of the original containment sphere. Okay, I ain't so sure why I ain't supposed to look at this stuff. It's just a rainbow-colored hunk of stuff. Sort of pretty. And we have junior researcher B. Please, follow. Procedures, protocols, and look away from the object. If you're not able to complete the procedure, your release will be delayed. And then, yeah, D2877-52B looks away from -3 after 16 seconds of visual contact. I swear, 52B, if you mess this shit up, I will beat your redneck ass into the ground. I know you're a moron, but if you just stick to the training, we can get out of here. Procedure continues as planned. Resume transcript at P+128. Alright, 52B, your turn. Flip the switch on the pump. I'm having a little trouble here. The buttons don't look like they're 7-2. The colors, they ain't right. What are you talking about? Look fine from here. Press the damn pump button. I can't tell. Which one is that? I think... Alright, Doctor. 52B is having some sort of aneurysm or something. Fucked up just like I said he would. What do we do now? Relieve 52B of his duties. The pictographs on the buttons should be sufficient for you to continue. Complete as much of the procedure as you can. You will be extracted before your exposure reaches dangerous levels. Is that all it takes to get out doing this? Hey. Oh no, my buttons are all purple. Can I go home now? Shut it, 52C. You aren't helping. Let's get this done and get out of here. Get out of the way, 52B. Before 52A can force him out of his seat, 52B presses a series of 7 buttons, lowering the replacement sphere and releasing the clamps, leaving -3's exposed in mid-air. What the fuck, 52B? Come on, 52C, let's get this thing back on clamps. 52B resumes visual contact with -3. 52A holds the sphere in place, and 52C attempts to re-engage the clamps. After approximately 6 seconds, 52A's faceplate shatters due to accelerated deterioration caused by proximity to -3. 52A runs out of the cobalt enclosure and physically assaults the storage unit airlock. Let me out of here! Let me out of here, let me... Okay, yeah. Hear that? 52A's voice is all high, screaming like a little girl. Anyway, I think we could use that extraction now. 52C, please close the enclosure door. Oh, that's how this goes, huh? Right, sure thing, Doc. 52C complies. D52A falls unconscious. This 7 looks so pretty. Like it's asking me to stare at it. Colors I ain't never seen before. Think I should touch it? You're fucked up, 52B. It's just a chunk of rock. You know they're not letting us out of here. Nice job killing us, asswipe. Whatever. I'm 7, touch it. I'm 7, touch it. I'm 7, touch it. 52B quickly approaches -3 at a distance of approximately 12 centimeters. D52B, well, 52B's hands, arms, torso, and head disintegrate into a variety of anomalous gases, aerosols, and dusts. Oh shit, is this what's gonna happen to me, dog? I'm starting to feel a little numb. No, 52C, that won't happen unless you approach the object. However, this is causing irreversible changes in your brain and body chemistry. At this point, you cannot continue with the procedure. Thank you for your cooperation, 52C. The 52C silently observes -3 for the next 12 seconds. I think I understand. It can't feel things are wrong here. It can't see outside. It just wants to make it all look right. Something... 7, unintelligible. No, you're wrong. That's not how things are here. There was nothing wrong with me before. The 52C raises 8 fingers. How's this, you piece of shit? 8. 88. 888. 52C's vital signs cease. At P plus 247. 52C's protective suit, epidermis, and 3 leftmost toes and fingers ionized into an unidentified plasma. At P plus 314, the cobalt enclosure collapses due to the structural compromise caused by production of CO5Ne2 crystals. A backup team was brought in to complete procedure 8997 Clever, doing so without additional complications. Analysis showed that -3's effect was inactive for the duration, allowing reuse of the backup team for the next month's procedure. All anomalous materials and human remains were successfully gathered and neutralized in Incinerator 2. Due to the new understanding of the possible psychological effects of exposure to -3, Dr. B has been retired. Additionally, procedure equipment was modified to ignore certain counterproductive button sequence. Yeah, I'm not surprised we would say that. Incident log 37. Routine data analysis discovered a statistically unlikely pattern of suicides within approximately 500 kilometers of site blank. I cannot click the button because of my ear itchy. These suicides coincide with enactments of Procedure 8997 Clever and were limited to chemistry teachers who had just taught a unit on the concept of electron shells. One likely subject was identified and taken into custody while attempting to hang himself. Oh fuck. The relevant interview transcript established a link to SB2877 is below. Begin transcript at 38:15. We have H and F. I'm sorry for keeping you here so long, Mr. W. I know we've covered this, but you can please explain what caused your feelings of worthlessness? I told you. It's all wrong. Everything I learned. Always. Forever. How can it be so ugly? Yes, I understand that, but you haven't explained what is wrong and why. If you cooperate, we can help you, Mr. V. We can make you feel normal again. Don't you want to be there for your family like you've always been? Yeah, yes I do. Wait, yes I do. But cooperate or not, it doesn't change anything. Don't you see? Can't you? It's all 80. It's all 888. It's not 8. It's wrong. It's bumpy. Slimy. 7. 7 is strong. So brave. Blank tells me. Didn't you hear him? His shell. It's wrong. Shells within shells. It's ugly. Everything I say. So ugly. I also like that that this SCP is all about talking about how 7 is strong while it's SCP-2877. It's a double 7 situation. And I also wonder if SCP-28888, like the triple 8s afterwards, tomorrow, will make a reference to this or not. It would be kind of interesting if it does. At this point, Mr. W became unresponsive and would not discuss the matter further in subsequent interviews. Amnestics were administered and resolved the issue temporarily. However, the next year, Mr. W successfully committed suicide upon reaching the same point in his syllabus. Through orchestrated reduction in STEM founding in the affected area, the suicide rate has been reduced to an unremarkable level. This has coincided with a small reduction in the rate of the reactions caused by -3. Then being a lot of expense of containment of -3 and the possibility of triggering an XK-class scenario in the event of a prolonged containment breach, neutralization of -3 has been approved by the vote of the O5 Council. Expenditures of 6 million yearly for purchase of 250 kilograms of iridium and other materials. Development of procedure 10605 Iris is in progress to eliminate -3 through exposure to radium while minimizing the damage caused by separation from the iridium used in containment. Imagine if it does that and mentions this SCP. It would be cool. We'll see tomorrow if it does. I probably will not think about it that hard tomorrow about it, but maybe it does. Maybe it's like, oh hey, this is a reference to 2877. Who knows? Who knows? What do you think of SCP-2877 Afro? I think 7. 7 is the correct answer. And it should always be 7, no 8. Always 7. Which is ironic that I say that because now we have 2878 coming up. So I'm like, there's more 8s than 7s. How am I supposed to survive?